بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فوسوس لهما الشيطان ليبدي لهما ما وري عنهما من سوآتهما وقال ما نهاكما ربكما عن هذه الشجرة إلا أن تكونا ملكين أو تكونا من الخالدين وقاسمهما إني لكما لمن الناصحين فدلاهما بغرور فلما ذاقا الشجرة بدت لهما سوآتهما وطفقا يخصفان عليهما من ورق الجنة وناداهما ربهما ألم أنهكما عن تلكما الشجرة وأقل لكما إن الشيطان لكما عدو مبين قالا ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين صدق الله العظيم. My dear respected brothers and sisters who are listening, title is about entertaining or amusing ourselves till death, and I'm sure you know what we're talking about. We're talking about the times that we're living in. And the ayats that I've just read to you, the ayats go back very long time back. In fact, they go back to the time when our grandfather, great-great-great-grandfather, great-great-great-grandmother, they both were in Jannah. And Allah had given them pleasures. Allah had said, stay inside Jannah, you've got all of these things to enjoy. But this one tree, you don't eat from this one tree, the forbidden tree in Jannah. Shaitan eventually he made his way in. Let's not go into how he got in, but he got in eventually. And he had to find a way to get both of these individuals to try and eat from the tree. Because he had a purpose. His purpose was, Allah says in the Holy Quran, in this surah, Suratul A'raf, which is the 7th surah, verse number 20. Allah said that لِيُبْدِيَ لَهُمَا مَا وُرِيَ عَنْهُمَا مِنْ سَوْآتِهِمَا. His purpose was that he wanted Adam alayhi salam and Hawa to lose their modesty. He knew that by eating from the tree they would lose their clothing. He knew that by losing their clothing they would be sent straight down to the earth. And he knew that his game would begin to try and take every single son of Adam and daughter of Eve. He wants to take them with him to hellfire. This was his purpose. And he had said to Allah, he had even said to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that I will do everything I can to try and take them. Try and take them with me. And Allah said, you use whatever tools you find. Because Allah made it very distinctive that I will have ibadiyya salihin. I have got certain of my servants who will be righteous, and there will be those who will follow you. And the ones that will follow you will go with you. لَأَمْلَأَنَّ جَهَنَّمَ مِنْكَ وَمِمَّنْ تَبِعَكَ مِنْهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. Allah said, I don't care. I will fill hellfire with you, with all your followers, those who you will take behind you. You will all fall into hellfire in the end, and you will fill the whole of hellfire with it. And I will fill it with you and those who follow you. إِلَّا عِبَادَكَ مِنْهُمُ الْمُخْلَصِينَ. Except, Iblis said that, except for your servants, who are your most sincere servants, they will be the most difficult ones for him to trick. Now, what happened, I mean, we know the story. I'm not going to spend the whole time talking about the story, but I want to derive certain things that are really relevant for us today. Because Shaitan had a purpose. His purpose was to take them out of Jannah. His purpose was to make them lose their clothing and so on. Allah says that clearly here. لِيُبْدِيَ لَهُمَا مَا وُرِيَ عَنْهُمَا مِنْ سَوَاتِهِمَا. But Shaitan couldn't tell them this. Shaitan had to put them in a state of forgetfulness. And Shaitan waited until they were so comfortable around in Jannah with all the other trees they could roam around, eat and so on, until one day Shaitan came and he tricked them by saying Wallahi. He took the name, Allah's name, and he said Wallahi, by Allah I swear this is true. So not only did he lie, but he lied by taking Allah's name. And not only that, but he started to glamorize what beautiful things could happen to them if they ate from that tree. So he said, according to this ayah, he said, مَا نَهَاكُمَا رَبُّكُمَا عَنْ هَذِهِ الشَّجَرَةِ O Adam, O Eve, Allah hasn't told you to stop eating from this tree, except there's a secret behind this tree. You eat from this tree, you will become like the rest of the angels. You are mortals. You will die one day. If you want to have an everlasting life, then you eat from this tree. إِلَّا أَن تَكُونَ مَلَكَيْنِ أَوْ تَكُونَ مِنَ الْخَالِدِينَ. He said you will be everlasting, or you will become like the angels. Your mortal bodies will change to angel bodies. And to sum it all up, to put the icing on the cake, he said, Wallahi, Wallahi. What I'm saying is true. Now, Adam a.s. being a prophet, Adam a.s. never heard anyone lie ever in his life. Ever heard anyone lie. And to lie and say Wallahi on top, this guy's got to be saying something of the truth. And he fell for it. And so did Hawa alayha salam. She fell for it. And they ate from the tree. And when they ate, بَدَتَ لَهُمَا سَوْآتُهُمَا, their clothes disappeared, and it was very embarrassing for them. And straight away they took وَطَفِقَا يَخْصِفَانِ عَلَيْهِمَا مِنْ وَرَقِ الْجَنَّةِ. They took the large leaves of paradise and they started to cover themselves. And Allah said what? Allah said, أَلَمْ أَنْهَكُمَا عَنْ تِلْكُمَا الشَّجَرَةِ. Did I not tell you, O Adam, did I not tell you, O Eve, that I warned you from eating from this tree? Why? بَأْخُلْ لَكُمَا إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ لَكُمَا عَدُوٌّ مُبِينٌ. That the Shaitan, the devil, he is your open enemy. Did not tell you this. They fell into embarrassment. What could they say? They said, رَبَّنَا ظَلَمْنَا أَنفُسَنَا وَإِن لَمْ تَغْفِرْ لَنَا وَتَرْحَمْنَا لَنَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. O our Lord, we have wronged ourselves. And if you don't have mercy on us, if you don't forgive us, then we will be of the losers. They realized their mistake, but it was too late. He had made them make the mistake. And now they had to bear what will happen to them. So they got sent down to the earth. But when they got sent down to the earth, Allah said in verse number 26 of the same surah, verse number 27 as well in the same surah, يا بني آدم لا يفتننكم الشيطان كما أخرج أبويكم من الجنة. O children of Adam, don't let the Shaitan put you in trial. Don't let him trick you. Don't let him put you in a similar situation. Don't let him take out or do something to you just as he took out your forefathers, or forefather Adam alayhi salam, and he took out your mother Hawa alayhi salam, took both of them out of Jannah. يَنْزِعُ عَنْهُمَا لِبَاسَهُمَا. He stripped them of their clothing, Allah says, لِيُرِيَهُمَا سَوْآتِهِمَا, to show them what is hidden underneath. إِنَّهُ يَرَاكُمْ هُوَ وَقَبِيلُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا تَرَوْنَهُمْ. Shaitan is watching you from a distance, from a way that you do not see him, his whole army and his qabila, his whole clan. He's got a family. Don't think Shaitan is just alone. Don't think he's one Iblis. Shaitan has got loads of them. In fact, today, he has got so many recruits from the jinns and so many recruits from the human beings as well. There are a lot of shaitans that are out there. Some of them might be sitting here, you don't know. I heard there was a tip-off. You don't know. There are so many of them out there. Jinns are the ones that we kind of think, where's the waswasa coming from? It doesn't have to be always waswasa. It can be, sometimes the shaitan can be your best friend. It's more easier to It's more easier for Shaitan to get at you, to make him your best friend, than for him to bring your enemy to you and try and make you do something wrong. How many times are you going to listen to your enemy? Your enemy comes to you, you're going to, what do you want? Yeah, your friend comes to you, yeah, bruv, what's up, man? Sit down, here we go. Now, he's not going to take a fruit out or a tree out. That's gone. In the time Adam alayhi salam got tricked, it's gone. It's gone. Today's way of tricking people, and subhanallah, he's gone far ahead, because you know why he's so far ahead? It's because he's had a life longer than any one of us. He's had a life longer than from the time of Adam alayhi salam till today, he's still been living. All the other jinns have been dying one by one, but Iblis has been living. So Iblis has mastered his tricks. Now his tricks are not that many. But what he's done is, it's the same game but a different name. That's all it is. The same game and a different name. So when he tricked Adam alayhi salam, he had to come in and he had to tell him that he's going to get something else out of what he's about to get into. He had to say wallahi and use anything he has to say that what he's got in front of him is going to be different. Today, in between there, subhanAllah, you think about it, okay? You think about it. Back home, before this technology came out, to trick a person, what do you have to do? The shaitan has to make a woman come out of her house, a man pass by and see his little Cinderella, fall in love with her, right? Then he has to think of a way to get the boy to meet the girl in a haystack somewhere, without the father knowing, because he's going to get his meat cleaver out, right? And then he's going to have to make them do hula baloo somewhere without anyone else knowing. But then he's got so many other problems, because if she is expecting, then he's going to be dead. Shaitan's going to be the first one to run away and so on, and he's going to leave them all in mess. But today, he's gone far ahead. He don't need to take little Cinderella out of her house. Little Cinderella, let's call her, and if I give a name, you might say, well, he might be talking about someone I know, right? Right? Let's call her let's call her Taha. That can be a name you can use both ways, right? So she's sitting there. She don't need to come out of her house. And neither does a guy need to come out of his house. They're sitting in their homes far away. They could be on two sides of the world. And one's got a little chuha in his hand, mouse, and the other one's got a little mouse, and they're basically communicating with one another. We know how it happens, webcam, whatever it is, right? It doesn't even have to happen in front of a computer anymore. You've got a little device on your phone, you can just open it, you've got your Facebook, whatever you've got on it, you're basically communicating with one another. And then, na'udhu billahi min dhalik, that video or camera or whatever is taking pictures, Shaitan, obviously he's told us we need these things, see. He's told us, and the thing is, we've got one right in front of us as well, right here, right? We use it for our own purpose as well. You want to make a little charity fund or whatever, you go down the studio and you make a little charity thing. But the thing is, you've got to understand what's happening here. And I'll be very honest with you. Yes, I do sit here and I do have, this sort of filming and so on. And I do understand that people later on, they do view these things and they're getting some deen out of it. Okay? They're getting some deen or some of the religion out of it. But I'll be very honest with you. What Shaitan has done is, whether it's the TV, the internet and your YouTube or your Google videos or wherever it is, and whether it's your apps that you got on your phone or something like that, and you got your iQuran and your iHadith and your this, alright? What he has done is, you can put as many truths as you want in this, but all you are doing is, you are putting a whole load, a bag of truth in a sea of lies. It's a whole sea of lies. Sayyid Qutb, rahimahullah, he was once asked, when he was asked, he said, why don't you put an article in the newspaper and every week we can have your message coming out? And he said, it's almost like, he said, a guy from a toilet, inside a toilet, he basically opens the little toilet window and he's from that little window, trying to scream out and say, hey guys, listen to the truth. Shuyukh that were clued on. He said it's almost like that. You're already in a toilet. And second thing, you've got this little window. You're not even in the main house. You're not even on the main street. And you're trying to get this little... Of course there'll be some passerbys that will listen to you and they will get some of the truth. But you're already in the midst of a barrage of lies. See, there's two ways of lying. The old way of lying, Shaitan did with Adam a.s. was to tell him, Wallahi, you eat from that, you become an angel. That was the old way. The clever way of lying is to basically cover the truth and cover it with lies and put so many lies around the truth that you're confused. You know, I honestly speaking, right, I had this old lady, plus 70 or something. She asked me a question. She said, Moli Sahib, she said, I watched this Shia, no, she didn't say that. She said, I saw this channel, and she said something she saw on the channel. She said, I want to know what they're talking about. And I said, look, that is a Shia channel. And basically, you're a Sunni, that's the Shia channel, and they're talking about, you know, things that, you know, I don't want to go into it. I'm saying they're talking about things that you don't really need to know. She said, you know, but they said this and I heard this, and is it true that Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu and what the other Sahaba did to him? I said, listen, hang on a minute. I said, how old are you? She goes, I'm 70 something. I said, exactly. How long have you got left? No, seriously. I'm sorry if you're sitting here and you're 67. No, there's a serious thing. I said, how long have you got left? You want to sit here and now start knowing about what Shias say and Sunnis say at the age of plus 70. I said, you're having a laugh. Now seriously, does this woman seriously need to know? I mean, if she didn't have the TV in her house, she's a woman. I said, listen, get on with your tahajjud, get on with your dhikr, get on with your Quran tilawah, which she was already doing. I said, you've cut down on the time of your dhikr and tilawah just to watch TV, fine. And now you've got a channel that's told you a few things you shouldn't have even known. Seriously, when is she going to have a Shia knocking on the door trying to convert her to Shiism? And when is a Shia going to come and have a debate with her? Now, I want to question to ourselves, how many of the things that we are watching, and I don't want to just say TV, you know, back in the 70s, in the 80s, it was like, oh, television haram here, television, and everyone, oh, okay, no television, that's fine, yeah? And guys even today are walking around, I ain't got a TV in my house. I go, yeah, you got a TV card in your computer, my friend, right? Or basically, you haven't got TV, oh, that's fine, doesn't it? But you watch everything on YouTube. And you watch everything on the computer. Don't try and fool me that you don't have TV. If you're not going to watch TV, then don't watch YouTube and don't watch other things as well. You've got to be honest with yourself. If you're watching, then you're watching. All right? But anyway, majority of us sitting here, I'm not going to sit in front of you and say today, right, that, you know, we've all got to go home and start to, you know, smash up all these £500. Well, it's a bit more expensive now, isn't it? Plasma, 42-inch and whatever, yeah? I'm not going to say that, but what I'm going to say is we've got to question ourselves. First thing is, what are we taking in? And do we need it? Do we need it? Seriously, we've gone from the you know, the simple radio that came out, and that was a big fitna at that time, to a television black and white, to a color one, to cinema, or cinema came before that, and then you've gone to now, you've got so many channels that people actually feel that they've got so much choice. I can watch Bollywood, Hollywood, and all of it together. You know, they think they've got so much choice. And that's the trick. See, the trick is that he says that you've got choice, but he hasn't left you with choice. You know, choice is when you've got freedom to choose, right? When you haven't got freedom to choose, you haven't got choice. Now, I want you to think about what I'm saying. If you pick up a remote, and you're sitting there, or if you get your mouse and you start clicking, it can be a remote or it can be a mouse, it can be both, right? And I want to be very honest with this, because there's some people with a remote, they start flicking and they know that 3 hours has gone without them knowing. And some people, 2-minute clips on YouTube, and they see one on football, wow, oh yeah, I need to know about Ronaldinho, I need to know about so-and-so, yeah? Oh, then they've gone football, and after a while, something's linked in YouTube, makes him see something else. Oh, car crash. Oh, yeah, car crash. Oh, lorry crash. Car crash. Oh, yeah. Plane crash. Oh, this crash, that crash. Don't worry, I'm not talking about 9/11, right? So they get into all of these things, and then you know it, they've got 2-3 hours have gone by. It's the same thing, it's the same concept. Don't try and say that I didn't watch TV, I don't waste my time on TV, when you're wasting the same amount of time in a different way on YouTube or some other thing on the internet. So honestly speaking, let us question ourselves and say, what is it that I'm actually watching? Now you've got guys who've got Sky, right? They've got Sky, and they're flicking through. You know, once when you've watched or you've seen a lion kill a zebra or something, that's it, you've watched it. How many lions do you need to see killing zebras? On National Geographic, right? How many crocodile huntings do you need to see? Come on, let's be honest with it, right? For you to get a buzz out of, the next crocodile, oh my God, it's all the same thing. How many soaps or episodes or whatever it is they need to see? Now the old thing was that they get, you have one little film, movie or one film, and that's it, you've seen it. But now the new thing is that they get you hooked on, so that you basically can never stop watching it. I mean, we still got EastEnders going on, right? I don't know, I don't watch it, but have we still got it going on? Yes, guys? Yes, guys? No one wants to admit they're watching it, right? Right? It's going on. People are hooked on it. It's that time of the evening they can't miss. So they're watching it. So then they watch it, that's fine. But then you have to watch it every single day. Right? Then they've got these things out there now, and they've got one program, I haven't watched it, but they called it Lost. And I think a lot of people got lost with that one. Because they couldn't find themselves coming out of it. Now, is that choice? Or is that you being enslaved? Because seriously, there are people who have been given this waswasa that they have got a lot of choice, but they are enslaved. They are slaves of these technologies that they have bought. It's not, these technologies are here for what? For us to use them for our purpose. A phone, what's a phone? What do you use a phone? Dave asked someone, what do you use a phone for? To ring someone, right? That's gone. Gone are the days that you just use your phone just to ring someone. You've got so many things going on the phone now that the purpose of the phone, for it being a phone, is hardly next to nothing. You've got so many, you've got the whole internet there, and once you get the internet, you've just opened a whole sea of things. If a person can't control their own self and they haven't got taqwa inside here, I'm being honest with you, brothers and sisters, it's a very dangerous thing to play around with. They say you play around with fire and you get burnt. They're all saying. I think there should be new sayings. You play around with technology and you basically diffuse your iman. Now I'm being serious about it. I'm being serious here. There should be a new saying, you play around with technology without basically knowing. Because fire, look, we're not saying to say fire is haram. You need fire. You need fire to cook things and you need it for warmth. But you don't take fire to the wrong place. The same way, technology, if you don't have taqwa inside here, I am telling you, it's a very, very dangerous thing, especially with the internet on it. Because it only takes a click to cause the sin of the eyes. And I would be surprised. I'll ask you a question here, okay? I'm going to ask this question, and I want to know if anyone can put their hands up. Anyone who's seen any videos, pictures, whether it's on the internet or whether it's on the TV or wherever else you might have seen it, I want you to honestly put your hands up if you've seen it, but you've never seen with your eyes the thing that Allah has made prohibited to you, whether it's even a part of the body. Could you put your hands up? Those people here who have throughout their lives, once or more than once, seen any of these technologies, whether it's on TV, on satellite, on internet, and you've never with your eyes seen something that Allah has prohibited, put your hands up now. Right, we've got about, how many hundreds would you say here? Maybe about 300, 400 people here, sitting here, right? Not a single person can raise their hand. Not a single person can raise that. Can you see how dangerous this thing is? Because what Shaitan will do is that he's not going to make you see on the first day. No, don't do that. See, Adam alayhi salam, he didn't come the first day to Adam alayhi salam and say, listen, I'm your doorman in Jannah, right? You better eat from this tree. If he said that, then he would have been kicked out. He waits for his chance. And his chance comes slowly. He gets you comfortable first. And the thing is, the sin that he makes people do in comfort is a lot more easier for him to delude us than the sin that he makes us do, and we think that we've got an enemy over us. See, he has to make us believe first that he's not our enemy. And second, he's going to make us believe that he doesn't even exist. I'll be honest with you, brothers and sisters. You know, people sitting comfortably in their armchairs and looking at these things, a lot of the time they don't even think about Iblis. They don't think about it. Because it's the desires in the heart that makes them want to see these things. And it's going to be what? There's a lot of people who will condone. You know, I'm going to be quite open here. They're going to condone with, okay, hijabs are not there. Doesn't matter. For them on TV, on internet or wherever, it doesn't matter. Then it's like there might be part of the arm showing. Doesn't matter. It's only the part of the arms. Part of the legs. Doesn't matter. When you start doing these doesn't matter, you're already halfway there for Shaitan to make you see something completely which you shouldn't have seen. And there are brothers and sisters who think it's absolutely normal to do this. And the sad thing is that when we as Muslims, we are seriously looking for our fulfillment of Iman, and what we don't realize is that with our own hands we have stopped ourselves from tasting the sweetness of Iman. You know, sweetness of Iman takes something that you can't start seeing everything that comes across your eyes and expect to have halawatul Iman. There's a hadith in Ahmad that says that if you come across something that you've got lustfully you want to see, and you don't actually see it, you don't actually set your eyes on it, then Allah will make you taste the halawa and the sweetness of Iman. And I've tried this a number of times, and you can try it a number of times. But one thing you have to do is you have to stop the eyes from seeing things that they're not supposed to see if you want to taste this. If you want to start seeing a closeness with Allah where when you lift your hands up, then you're in you feel really good and connected with Allah. I am telling you right now here that this very technology which is in our hands, which we are using for our advantage in some things, it is the very thing that has spoiled a lot of our brothers and sisters' Iman. And they are not able to get close to Allah because of that. In fact, I will be surprised if someone can have a very close maqam to Allah and they're watching a lot of these things, whether it's on the internet or whether it's on TV. I'll be very surprised. Yes, there are things that are educational and other things on these things. Alright, I'm not going to say no to that. But what I want to say is the clear message is not just the TV or the satellites, other things. It's, you think about the apps on a phone. The apps on the phone or Androids or whatever it is you've got. There's a limit to what you need. The question is, what do I need? My brothers, let us ask this serious question. What do I need? Because you know what's happening? If you start to pick and choose as many things as you want, and they're all enjoyable. You got this game and you've got that app and you got, you're playing this, and there's all the other, Sony, entertainment gear that you've got, PlayStation, you've got Xbox, you've got, Nintendo Wii, whatever you've got. These things, again, they're making us very comfortable in our things. And I'm not saying to you just to kick it all out. What I'm going to say to you is, let's now weigh it with what we're supposed to have. Because when the moment comes, my brothers, this is a serious question. When the moment comes that I'm standing on the Day of Judgment, and Allah has said in the Holy Quran in Surah Al-Zilzal, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَى وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَى. Whoever has done an atom or committed an atom's weight of good will see it on the Day of Judgment. Whoever has done an atom's weight of evil or sin will see it on the Day of Judgment. When I stand up on the Day of Judgment, I will see all my good deeds in front of me and all my bad deeds in front of me. And I'm being serious here. If every evening, okay, no, we're busy. Already, we're hooked in this little rat race where you have to spend 8 hours out of your house. And either it's in work or it's university, it's college or whatever it is, you're already busy. And you come home at 5, 6 o'clock. And la ilaha illallah, after seeing, then you've got family. You've got family. And the real sad thing is some people have even sacrificed the family for some of these stuff. For Twitter and Facebook. They'd rather see people on Facebook than see their family members. I think they seriously need to, get their own face shaped up, because he's looking like a book, right? They seriously need to start understanding what family is. Technology is supposed to be used and not loved. And people, family members, are supposed to be loved and not used. If this is happening in our lives, then we've got a serious problem, because there are people who come home and they don't even cross each other for a conversation. The guy comes in 6 o'clock, his brother comes in 7 o'clock, guy's having his supper at 6:30, his brother's having 7:30, microwave, that's it. He goes up in his room, he goes in his room, and they're both on the internet. And brothers are not real brothers. He's got more closer friends outside in his cyber world than his own brother, and it's seriously happening. And mothers with sons and daughters, the family unit is breaking up. And if this is happening because of technology, there's a serious question: how long am I going to allow this to continue happening to my family? There's people come home at 6 o'clock. Now listen to this, yeah? They come home at 6 o'clock. They just about get down, have the supper, see the family for a bit. Okay, and then send the kids to bed, whatever. Then they're watching a movie for 2 hours, or they're watching some programs, or they're on their PlayStation, or they're on some Facebook or Twitter, whatever it is. They're on there, and the next minute it's time to go to sleep. So they go to sleep after the movies, or whatever. They go to sleep, wake up in the morning, quickly freshen up, go to work, 8 hours out there, come back again, maybe 1 hour in the house, family, whatever, and straight again in technology. Now you tell me, where in the world, I'm honestly speaking, where in the world have these people got time for the investment for the akhirah? Because they're going to end up on the Day of Judgment, they're going to see in front of them work, technology, work, technology. They're going to see huge heaps of time for work given and huge heaps of time for technology. I'm not saying don't go to work. But what I'm saying is, some people might say, yeah, that's good. Benefit, thank you. Molly Saab, I needed that. Yeah, I get £51 and 26 pence. I don't want you to sit back and start signing on. Alright, that's not what I'm trying to say. We need to work. As Muslims, we shouldn't have any frauds amongst us, right? Who are claiming and working at the same time. The guy is basically carrying a ladder, right, every day, and they basically catch him and he's in court, and they ask him, "Excuse me, Mr. Khan, why did you carry that ladder for?" "Your Honor, it was exercise." Honestly, this happened in court, right? It was exercise. I was exercising with a ladder on my shoulder. Anyway, my point is, people on the Day of Judgment will come and they will start looking and seeing, what is it that I've got? Now, if we can't spare an hour, 2 hours, what our parents used to do? Now, what happens? I remember my mother, and I had not my own grandmother, but I like a sort of grandmother. I'm sure you'll be able to put your hands up and remember this. They used to have these things called wazifas. They still got them around. Wazifas, yeah? Yeah, put your hands up if you've seen any one of your mothers, aunties, grandmothers, yeah, with the wazifas, yeah? Come on, yeah, my mother, and I'm sure you can say the same thing about yourself, right? She brought 5 of us up together. 5 of us, yeah? And we were all very close to one another in terms of age. She brought us up in the time when there was no washing machines. There's no dishwashers. They were the dishwashers. They were the the machines that washed all these clothes and all that. Honestly speaking, yeah, they had to do a lot of stuff. There were no microwaves at those times, right? They brought us up in all that effort and strive. And there was a time when there was even Hoovers around. Like later on, we saw Hoovers coming around. There weren't even telephones around at that time, right? And they brought us up, and I still remember seeing my mother still having time for the Quran. Her time for a salah, time for the Quran, time for a tasbih, time for a wazifa. I still remember that. Blessed are those women. You know, Shaykh, Maulana Thanwi rahimahullah, what he said in one of his writings. He said, I'm telling you, he said this about 100 years ago. He said, I'm telling you, many of these women that are in these homes of India are the awliya of Allah. He said that. He actually wrote this. I said, you're not realizing this. He said, the next generation of women and the following generation of women, when they come, you will realize that these were the awliya of Allah. And I'm telling you this, that they were the awliya of Allah. They were. I can remember someone who was like a grandmother to me. She used to, at the end of the day, they just woke up for Fajr, for Tahajjud they woke up, for Tahajjud and then Fajr, and then you're reading the wazifas, Nawafil. They used to do so many Nawafil. They used to do the Ishraq, and they used to do the Awabin. I remember clearly they used to do the Awabin and so on. I mean, where are these women going now? These women are on their way to their graves. Now, what have we created? What have we got? What, women growing up, and I'm going to have my wife, and I'm going to have my daughters growing up, and the best thing they find as the pastime is what? To see the next movie, to see the next soap, to see the next what's on technology, and this email bombardment and Facebook and so on they're giving you things you don't even want. I really get annoyed when people send me something that's a waste of my time. I'll be honest with you. I get quite annoyed because email is just for letters. Well, yeah, right. Yeah, I might be fuddy-duddy to you, right? But the thing is, email and this technology is for the purpose it was created. A phone is for phone. I really get annoyed when even a family member of mine will be on the phone, and they're on the phone and they're on it for more than I think they should be on it. And if you phone me, I will say, Assalamu alaikum, yeah, something good, yeah, hello, how are you, yeah, what can I do? Get down to the point. And the women's got, women's one, is a normal one, what have you cooked in your house? I mean, what is it to you? Can you smell it? Can you honestly smell it? Yes, I can smell it. That smells nice. Please send some down the phone. I can probably taste it as well. I mean, what is it? Why do you have to ask what curries they've cooked in the house? It's a waste of time, honestly speaking, right? Men, talking about, football, right? You get into it, you get into football. Come on, guys, honestly speaking, okay, football, you support a team, right? But don't cry when they lose. And don't lose your voice when you yell and say, they're basically, won for my team. What on earth are you doing to yourself? A people that have got no link to you whatsoever. A people that have got no link to you whatsoever. And all it is, it's got nothing to do with Arsenal and Man U. You know what it is? It's to do with you and your little friend there. You lost, mate. Yeah, see, 2-0 down, see? Yeah? What is it? It's a way of you, and the thing is, okay, bit of pastime, entertainment, but guys, I've seen guys here, they will lose their deen comes second. Their deen comes second. World Cup, subhanallah, what was it once? It was, I think it was Algeria playing some other country. I think it was England or something. I don't know what they were playing. Yeah, that day Maghrib Salah. I'm telling you, the safs, right? Normally it's about 5 safs. You had about half a saf that day, and you think, my God, what happened to these brothers today? They're like, yeah. When's the latest we can pray Maghrib? Looking at that. Come on, if your deen comes second to this technology, there's a big question. What am I doing? What is it doing to me? It's enslaved me. And behind all of that, you got Uncle Iblis sitting there going, He don't need to come to your doorstep. He's already shoved all this technology in your pockets and in front of you. I'm not saying get rid of all of it, but what I am saying is we seriously need to ask ourselves these questions. What is happening to me and the life of my family members? Because when Maulana Thanwi said that, and you can see it today, these women in India, at the time when he was writing this, they saw it, and there's nothing wrong with this. And I'm saying this, whoever's sitting here, my friend of liberal democracy, right? Whoever you sit in here, and and I'm sure this is going to be seen in a lot of places. Look, what we're saying to you is we don't want to keep our women home and lock them up. That's not what we do. But we've got a shared responsibility. We've got something that we have to share, responsibly have to share. The community out there seriously is crying. They're seriously crying because the family model has broken down, is shattered. It's absolutely shattered. I'm not talking about Muslim houses, I'm talking about non-Muslim houses as well. It's shattered. And there needs to be something done to put it back together again. Because without families, you don't have communities. Without communities, you won't have countries. And you need to seriously, I'm not saying, we get rid of all this technology, but what I'm saying is we seriously need to think of what's happening. Our sisters, our mothers, if they stay home and if they do their duty of looking after our children and looking after our family members, it's not that we're degrading them. We're not degrading them. They have got such a high maqam, such a high station. They're a mother. And what Mawlana Thanvi said, he could see this. The women, they're busy and so on, cooking and serving their families, their husbands and so on, and looking after household. You know how hard that is? You try and do that one day. You brothers, I'm telling you that one day. You try and do that. One day, clean the nappy, yeah? And after that, make the rotis, yeah? They're going to look square. And after that, you try and make some laddu, and you probably got something else in your hand. You might as well make some cement or something, right? You try and do it one day, and you find out what these women are going through. And in the midst of all of that, subhanallah, these women, what they needed is not to be given a relaxation at the end of the day with Bollywood movies and Be For You and this and that and that. And then you've got people, sorry, I do understand I've received this, but do you want me to, if you want me to carry on, then otherwise I'll carry on for a few minutes. In the midst of all of that, you've got these Islam channels, right? And this channel and that channel. Right? And this is what I was pointing to you earlier on, is that people now, this is a new thing. I want to say this in the open. You've got to seriously understand that a lot of these people who've got these channels, they didn't sit there and make these channels, all of them, to try and just teach you your deen. They didn't do that. They had that in their niyyah, but they also wanted to make money. Pesa fulus, dosh, they wanted to make dosh. So when they have these two niyyahs, what they're going to do is they're going to look for, sometimes when they see that they're not going to have a platform anymore, their own seat is at stake, they're going to look for more pesa than your deen. And you know what that means? That means they're not really there to teach you your real deen as you should know it. They're going to dilute it. They're going to have advertisements which you shouldn't see. I've seen this on some of these Islam, I won't say the Islam channel, but some of these Islamic channels, you see some of these adverts and you think, Na'udhu billahi min dhalik, I thought I was watching something Islamic. I thought that, now brother has requested, can you please just move slightly forward? There are other brothers coming inside. Please move slightly forward. I seriously started to, question, what is this? Why are they showing certain things that your eyes shouldn't see on a channel which you were watching because of purely for an Islamic reason? The second thing is, when they're teaching your deen, I'll tell you the best way to learn something, and this is something I will say to you from books that I've read, from not books that have been written by Muslim writers. These are from non-Muslim writers. There are non-Muslim writers who've written about this. Do you know that the literacy level amongst the early African slaves in America was 98%. At certain times when they found these African slaves, bought from Africa and so on, the literacy level of some of these groups was up to 98% of these people could actually read. Now the big question is, why is it that after all of these, 300 years have gone by, and we've got all this technology in our houses and in our schools and so on, why is the literacy level lower? Does the TV, the internet, watching something, all right, does that teach you more than you picking a book? Because if you pick a book up on a subject, I am telling you, you will learn perhaps 10 to about 50 times more than what you will do by watching a TV program. I'm telling you this because I've done it myself. I'd rather read a book because you've got the facts there. That what the television needs to do, or that videos on the internet need to do, is they need to have fillers, and they waste your time. They waste time. If you're watching a documentary on history, you will watch them basically how they rode their horses and how they went forward and they got this lance out, and basically you've already done about maybe 5 minutes of watching this, when in a book you can read the same thing in a paragraph. You can read the same thing in a paragraph. The thing is, what is it that we need? If you need to learn Islam, the best way to learn Islam is to come to your local imam who you trust, because it's a case of trusting someone. Or you go to a course that you can trust and you learn your Islam. If you stick it to the television, you're going to learn your whole deen from the television. You're going to have one guy, and this has happened loads of times. I've had people question me. They said to me, Imam Sahib, they said on Wednesday night, this guy came on the Q&A and he said that this, the women that wear their gold, they should pay zakat on it, right? And the next day I watched the same channel with a different imam who in Q&A, and he said the gold, they don't have to pay zakat on it. So now he's telling me I'm watching the same channel and I'm trying to understand what it is. And I said to him, look, you don't learn your deen from these instruments. These are not things you can acquire information. Now the internet is very good in terms of you getting information really quickly. But you know what happened? I'll tell you this one thing, and I'll stop with this. There was a time from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's time till the time when they started to collect the hadith in books, in the time up to the time of like Imam Bukhari and so on. Yeah, there was a time there where about 150 to about 200 years they did not write a lot of it down. They just kept it in their memories. And the moment they started to write it down, the ulama said that they have taken knowledge from the hearts and they placed it onto their eyes. You know how profound it is? They've taken knowledge from the hearts, because it was in the hearts of people, and they've put it into their eyes. A lot of the things that we're trying to view and understand and learn, if you actually try an old method to learn it, is probably still better than some of the new methods. And anyway, Jazakumullah khair for your time and coming down. I ask you to make dua for myself, and may Allah give me tawfiq and you tawfiq as well, to steer away from the tribulations which are within our lives, and not to be enslaved by these products, to the extent that our akhirah and our journey to the next life is sacrificed. And last thing I will say to you is, let us just think, okay, every day we're doing this, what have I got in my bag to take for my akhirah? What have I stored today in my bag to take for my akhirah? Jazakumullah khair wa akhir dawana alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.